Alright, so I remember talking about the faults of the Cell Saga in Dragon Ball Z a while ago on this channel, which, by the way, let me give a shout out now. Shout out to Carthus Dojo. Y'all know I love reacting to his Dragon Balls, all his Dragon Ball videos. I love his channel, how he break things down. Shout out to him. Make sure you go subscribe to him. But I reacted to his video talking about the faults of the Cell Saga. In my opinion, too, yeah, I'll have to say it. I hesitated for a second, but no, the Cell Saga probably has the most faults ever. The Frieza's, no, not much of the Frieza Saga. Nah, most of it was just the power scaling was different. But and Goku, like when he got his body taken from Ginyu, he didn't know Ginyu could do that, stuff like that. But the Cell Saga was the most frustrating and getting mad at characters moments I've ever had. As much as I love the Cell Android Saga, that had to be the most. Yeah, then Boo Saga. Yeah, I gotta say that. But after doing that Cell one, I was like, I gotta go through the whole talk about my feelings towards the Boo Saga as well. And shout out to Carthus Dojo. He's talking about it as well. So we're gonna react to this video. It says the many mistakes of the Boo Saga. Yeah, because there's a nice amount here as well. Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, which are the usual suspects. The Kais, I like them now. They all right. But I used to hate the Kais back then. The Supreme Kai, him and Kibito, the way they approached the saga, you thought they were somebody like insane, like strong, like everything. And then you see how shocked he was looking at the Saiyans fighting, and you actually see how weak he is, and he's not really that useful. And shout out to the writers though, because they even made a joke about how, in a way, of how the Supreme Kai is a joke. When the old Supreme Kai came around and was helping Gohan and doing all this other stuff, giving information, Goku looked at Supreme Kai and was like, you might be out of a job. I like that little insert there because it's like even the characters know that this Supreme Kai ain't doing much. But there's some other characters too. But let's just see how he breaks it down. And you know me, I'm going to stop and talk about certain things. For me personally, though, I would have to say Gohan from not training and taking his life as the protector of Earth seriously, and Goku. I think those were the first two, in my opinion. Because Goku could have just turned Super Saiyan 3 in front of Vegeta and show him that we are not the same. Like, I'm a Vegeta fan, but him, like, he was not compared to Goku. He was not the same as Goku. All Goku had to do was turn Super Saiyan 3. And we know Vegeta. It would have hurt his pride, and he would have just gave up. You know what I'm saying? So, it's Goku's fault. Excuse me. Sorry, my voice, y'all. Excuse me. Still recovering. But Gohan for not sticking to the training, and Goku for stalling something when he could have just ended it, and then it would have stopped Boo from being resurrected. Anyway, let's see how he breaks it down.
Dragon Ball Z, I think the Cell Saga is the one that is caused by the most mistakes made by our main cast of characters.
I agree.
But like I said in that video, the Boo Saga is a close second. Starting with Gohan's bad decision of not keeping up with his training.
Yes.
While he didn't stop training entirely and was just not training at the intensity and frequency he'd need to grow stronger,
I hope he breaks down the
Goku
Goku situation I was talking about.
This is going against his father's final wishes for him and the entire Earth. Let's not forget, Gohan has absurd potential, so he possibly could have handled the entire Boo Saga on his own.
Literally,
and he kept growing stronger.
If he kept training, he could have handled all that.
I'll give him a slight pass though, since he hasn't really known prolonged peace since before he was 4 years old.
And that is something my friends and people in the comments of my videos, whenever I complain about Gohan, keep reminding me. They're like, bro, I understand, I see your point, you're right, but this kid has been fighting crazy death battles since Raditz showed up. You know, got his neck snapped from Raccoon. You know, all the stuff he dealt with on Namek as a kid. The Cell Saga, imagine being a kid, a 13-year-old, and the world is hanging on your shoulders, you know, with one arm. So, yeah, Bojack, even though technically that's not canon, but, you know, the trading of Piccolo for a child, he's been through a lot, so that's why I hold back. At the same time, I'm like, okay, I get it. You can still live your life, scholar and all that stuff. It's still at the same time, I don't care if it's like a little overtime at night. Put some training in. Just a little, a nice amount to keep your power going up, so that way you're not going this way. But for I do back off a little bit. Still, man, bro. But in fairness, there's no story, there's no Buu Saga if Gohan does that. You know what I'm saying? So anyway.
After this, we jump way forward to the tournament where even Goku knows Videl should just concede to Spopovich or take the ring out. She's clearly no match for him.
That was hard to watch.
Life in danger, but even
that
more
was hard to
than
watch.
That, she's enraging Gohan. Something that seemingly leads to Gohan using Super Saiyan 2 against Kibito. That energy is stolen by Spopovich and Yamu and leads to Buu getting over half the energy required for his resurrection. But let's be fair here, Supreme Kai and Kibito are even more to blame. Not only did they not properly assess the power of the fighters on Earth, leading to a pretty drastic underestimation in how they planned to handle Babidi and his minions, but they didn't fully relay the plan immediately. Goku trusts gods and has been with a Kai for the last 7 years in heaven. Even Piccolo immediately agrees to the authority of Supreme Kai due to his position in the universe. While Vegeta might not agree still, I think Goku could have convinced Gohan to use some of his power to draw out Spopovich and Yamu without giving Babidi nearly half of what they need for Buu's resurrection for absolutely no reason. There's a world where base Gohan powers up enough to draw out Spopovich and Yamu while giving Buu, at minimum, 100 times less energy to potentially be revived with. Again though, if Kibito and Shin had more information on the fighters on Earth, Kibito could have just asked Gohan to power up in his base form to draw out Spopovich and Yamu. This mistake is really easily avoided if they either had good intel or shared the plan, so not doing either is just a huge mistake. This lack of transparency from Supreme Kai and Kibito also leads to the minor mistake of Android 18 staying behind. Due to her having an infinite energy system instead of normal ki, she probably of transparency from Supreme Kai and Kibito also leads to the minor mistake of Android 18 staying behind. Due to her having an infinite energy system instead of normal ki, she probably has energy that Babidi can't use towards the revival of Majin Buu, just like they specifically can't use Supreme Kai and Kibito for Buu's revival either. Man, this tournament sure has been going on for a while, huh? It keeps getting interrupted. Where'd you get that watch? What? Where'd I get my watch? Well, that's from this video. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of these bleachers before something bad happens, and I suggest you do the same. And now, we've made it to our new vacation destination. Welcome to the wasteland of poor choices, where you can find Gohan potentially not using Super Saiyan 2 against Dabura. I know this one is contentious, but this does not look like Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, and we know Toriyama knew Gohan can use Super Saiyan 2 because he used it during the tournament. Though based on the characters' reactions to Gohan fighting Dabura, it's possible this is actually Super Saiyan 2 and just a design inconsistency, so only count it as a possible mistake.
I never thought it was Super Saiyan 2.
Definitely a mistake though is Goku stopping Vegeta from helping Gohan, who's clearly struggling at least a little bit against Dabura. Hell, even Goku helping his son himself would be better than letting this fight drag out, potentially giving Buu some energy from any damage that Gohan takes.
Honestly, I would just say let Vegeta handle it. You know, Vegeta wanted that.
Vegeta is a bit different from everyone else. Though we all know in the end, that's Vegeta's mistake. He gets upset because he realized Super Saiyan 2 Goku is stronger than him and feels like his fight date with Goku got interrupted. So now he willingly lets himself be used by an evil warlock so he can close the gap in power while still having a reason to fight. He could have just accepted that he was weaker than Goku and still had a fight with him.
This is Vegeta we're talking about.
Buu's resurrection, but nope, that would make too much damn sense. That doesn't excuse Goku from not using Super Saiyan 3 against Majin Vegeta, though. We know Babidi's minions being defeated doesn't give Buu energy, and a fighter has to get damaged to give energy.
Because I was thinking like that, and when he fought Buu the first time, Piccolo, I remember mentioning, he was like, could you have beaten Buu? And if I remember quick, Goku's like, I don't think so. But no, if we actually look at that, Goku could have won. Goku could have won. He would have to figure out how to get rid of him so he doesn't regenerate quickly. But power scaling Super Saiyan 3 was better. Granted, it's a risk because that shortens your time on Earth. But I would have gone all in. You know when Goku was talking about when he's fighting Kid Buu that I have more power I can release, and he wasn't able to do it against Kid Buu. But he could have done that against Buu and just do a nice full blast Kamehameha and end it. But again, the plot has to keep going. But I was so glad when Piccolo asked that. He was like, could you have done it? Even though Goku said no. Us, the viewers, we're like, excuse me. Actually, no, thinking about it, when he fought Kid Buu, he did say, You know, I think I could have beaten Majin Buu if I fought him the first time. If my memory serves it correctly. But yeah, all in all, Goku, Buu didn't even have to come. Excuse me, Buu didn't even have to be resurrected. If all Goku had to do was show Vegeta Super Saiyan 3, because Vegeta was already jealous, frustrated, what everyone say of Goku being stronger than him at Super Saiyan 2 already. Imagine Vegeta's feelings if he saw Super Saiyan 3. Imagine. We know Vegeta. Just saying.
Well, so Goku using Super Saiyan 3 just for a moment so he could quickly knock out Vegeta was by far the best option. If he had the time to use it to stall Buu later on, he definitely had time to use it.
And he wouldn't even fight Vegeta. Vegeta would not have fought him.
Don't let his excuse from later on deceive you. Let's leave the wasteland though and go to Capsule Corp, where Bulma and the others have summoned Shenron, which is pretty premature. Sure, they don't know anything besides the fact that Vegeta killed a lot of people at the tournament, but they don't know if that issue is even resolved yet or anything that led up to him becoming evil again. Usually, the characters are smart enough to make sure the problem is actually solved first before wishing everything be put back to normal, except in situations where there's no other choice, and here, there definitely was another choice, like collecting the Dragon Balls, but just holding on to them instead. What's an even weirder mistake, though, is the fact that despite the wish being to revive every good person that died, everyone still thinks Gohan is dead. Sure, Vegeta became evil, and even then he was revived by Shenron in the Frieza saga. Yes, that was Shenron, not Porunga, so he can't be
They did all that reviving for Super Buu to go like this and kill them all. Like, dang.
Again. No, Dende's upgrade on the Dragon Balls never removed this limitation. Gohan, on the other hand, hasn't ever been revived, so if they thought he was dead, they should have known he'd be alive now for sure, and if they had that information, maybe King Kai could have connected Goku to him, letting the cast on Earth know about Gohan's training and allowing the kids fusing to be the backup plan rather than the bet they place everything on. You could even argue that Supreme Kai Kibito could train Gohan in the time chamber once he has the Z-Sword, since he has over a year remaining that he could still use.
True.
Which, now that I think about it, is also true.
But I don't think
Goten
and Trunks would have been the backup plan, because Super Buu did go up there, so Piccolo had no choice. Now, if Gohan was there training, could have been a different story, but you know, outside of Gohan,
why not just put him in the Room of Spirit and Time? Piccolo actually suggests this, but Goku that he could still use. Which, now that I think about it, is also true for Goten and Trunks. Why not just put him in the Room of Spirit and Time? Piccolo actually suggests this, but Goku seems to care more about them having the full 2 days in the time chamber for a potential future threat instead of using at least a little bit of that time now for the threat at hand. It just doesn't make any sense, especially when Goku is willing to use Gohan's precious time in the time chamber in the last arc. It's pretty clear he's expecting more from both the power of the kids and the power of the fusion itself. He thinks just fusing and no training will be enough for Gotenks to beat Majin Buu, but I actually doubt that. Remember, for Super Buu, it took Goten and Trunks training in the time chamber and unlocking Super Saiyan 3 as Gotenks just to equal him. Is Super Buu really that much stronger than Fat Buu that Gotenks without training and just regular Super Saiyan could have beaten them? Then you have Piccolo,
they did train
who sends
a little
Super Saiyan
bit
3 Goku and
at the end, but they could have trained a whole lot more.
So is Super Buu really that much stronger than Fat Buu that Gotenks without training and just regular Super Saiyan could have beaten them? Then you have Piccolo, who sensed Super Saiyan 3 Goku and thought correctly that Goku could beat Buu. But he's only skeptically impressed with Gotenks' ki, needing further proof to be sure that they can beat Buu at all. Even if it is possibly true that they could win that fight, it's just a huge and unnecessary gamble on Goku's part for seemingly no reason. A gamble like, I don't know, not killing Buu when he had the chance, like I just mentioned. Whether you consider this in character or not, I don't really care, since the point of these mistake videos.
That's the one thing about Super Saiyan 3 that annoys me. The writing for Super Saiyan 3 is so frustrating. They do not, outside of the Kid Buu fight, and even then they held it back. Super Saiyan 3 has been held back story-wise, power-wise for a long time. You think about what they just showed there against Buu. The moment that he could have shown Vegeta instead of fighting. Kid Buu, he wasn't even to go full power Super Saiyan 3. He didn't have enough, he didn't have enough to go full power Super Saiyan 3. Going against Beerus and going up against Beerus and having Beerus just press on his shoulder and not come out. The Tournament of Power, you see Super Saiyan 3 for like 5 seconds for Kefla and them to be like, and then he loses it. Super Saiyan 3 never had its full potential in a battle. Or in a scene, to be real. In a way, Gotenks got better shine at Super Saiyan 3 than Goku. That's the one thing. It was like the writers were nervous to have Super Saiyan 3 last a while, like Super Saiyan 2 and 1. I don't know why that was the problem. When you think about all those opportunities, they can go Super Saiyan 3. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing a point about it. I know it takes, I think, takes a lot of power or stamina away from you, something like that. But you could have put him out there a little bit more than, just a few minutes. You know what I'm saying? I thought that battle between him and Kid Buu was amazing. I would have loved to see him go the full extent of his power with it. Him against Janemba was cool. It was very short lived. So I don't know. I don't know what it is about Super Saiyan 3 that it does not get its full attention. Daima is starting to give it more attention, like with Vegeta and Goku, which is pretty cool. I wish it was in their adult version, but especially the Super Saiyan 4. That's another conversation. But yeah, I think, in my opinion, Super Saiyan 3 and Super Saiyan Red, or God, whatever you want to call it, those are the two disrespected transformations, in my opinion. Super Saiyan 3 and Super Saiyan God. Those two. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments and let me know what is the most disrespected transformation. Like I said, Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan God. Those are the two. Because Super Saiyan God, it took all that when it was fighting Beerus just for them in the next situation with Frieza to go Super Saiyan Blue. It was like, wait a minute, can we enjoy Red for a minute? I was glad they brought it back when Vegeta fought Broly in Super, but it was like, and then you read the manga, they used Red a whole lot, even after the Beerus situation, but in the TV show, they just went right to Blue. Like Goku Black, for example, there was some very nice moments with the Super Saiyan just regular, the Red, before Super Saiyan Blue. That's why I say that's another disrespected transformation. I don't know why.
To show how characters are flawed and make interesting mistakes that let the story happen. This definitely one of them. Goku admitting he didn't kill Buu when he could.
Oh, there we go. That's what I was talking about.
The kids handle it is really dumb.
Really stupid. Thank you.
He'll be dead forever, but when the goal of
really stupid. You would think he would learn. That's like this. That in a way is related to how he felt with Gohan versus Cell. I want my kid to do it. To see your kid get beaten up like that, and then you're like, your answer to it is let my other son and Vegeta's son go through the same thing. I want the kids. That's the one thing I wish Goku matured in, is his decision making. These are children. I know in Dragon Ball he went through some things, but he's supposed to be better than that now. It's like, okay, I can't let my kids be the saviors of the universe. If you have an opportunity, take it. You're Super Saiyan 3, most powerful being right now. Yeah, take that opportunity. Gohan, because I know he's going to talk about when Gohan gets Ultimate Gohan, I guess you want to call it, because Gohan should have finished it instead of dragging it out. Even Piccolo said it. He's like, what is it with these Saiyans dragging stuff out? But anyway.
Next generation is ultimately to protect Earth. I think not protecting the Earth and that next generation is a mistake. Especially when you realize that later in the arc, the Earth gets destroyed and the next generation gets killed.
Right.
Which is something that's
for him just to fight.
Goku killed
just for him to fight anyway.
Speaking of Goku stalling Buu, that only happens because the smartest woman on Earth is dumb as bricks. She knew the Dragon Balls would be needed again in the near future, even mentioning that her parents opted to stay behind with their pets, knowing they could be revived in the worst case scenario. So Bulma, how are you going to revive your parents without the Dragon Radar? You know, the radar you apparently can't remake with the materials you have? Why would you leave that behind in this situation?
Good point.
Of course, Goku should kill Buu if he can, but Bulma's mistake is ultimately the reason he has to reveal Super Saiyan 3 and burn away his remaining time on Earth. Time that he could have used to better assess the threat and potentially even realize that they need the time chamber once a successful Super Saiyan fusion occurs. Now, remember that later destruction of Earth I mentioned? It's why I don't even think it's that big of a mistake for Piccolo to have Super Buu kill every person on Earth. It was going to happen later anyway, so it probably didn't matter. Though, I will say this could have severely backfired if Super Buu actually did kill Mr. Satan. But ultimately, I think the death and destruction on Earth are mostly Goku's fault after a certain point.
Yeah.
Especially since Piccolo thought it would take Buu time to wipe out the planet's population, he was doing it for a good and justifiable reason.
But I was
even
not
if it
in my
didn't
head
work out
because
as
that's what I was
intended.
talking about
This
when
would have
Buu
even
raised
been a
his
safe
hand.
gamble if the Dragon Balls weren't
You
used
wished everybody back, or the people that died back, for Buu just to do that.
time to wipe out the planet's population, he was doing it for a good and justifiable reason, even if it didn't work out as intended. This would have even been a safe gamble if the Dragon Balls weren't used prematurely and were just collected already, but I'm sure you get the point by now. Honestly, Goku's overall faith in the kids is definitely a mistake that leads to this outcome. They're not nearly as mature as Gohan was and had to be due to them leading a life of peace compared to Gohan's nearly non-stop combat tour since he was 4 years old. Their immaturity is a clear oversight in Goku's plan. Take the fact that Gotenks
should not
shouldn't
be
have
putting
hidden Super Saiyan 3
the
from
world's
Piccolo.
shoulders on
Even if
children.
Gotenks couldn't beat Super Buu as a Super Saiyan 3 because he was only equal or barely stronger than him,
And that was a miracle. All of us who was watching the first time, we was like, where did this come from? Super Saiyan 3? Thank you, Plot Armor. Appreciate it. Because without that, we would have lost. We would have been stuck in the time chamber, and who knows what would have happened. So that Super Saiyan 3 transformation wasn't even in Goku and Piccolo's plan. So yeah, another reason of, a dumb reason for these adults to put their trust in the kids. It took Plot Armor for Gotenks to turn Super Saiyan 3. That was not part of the plan or part of their training. So we got off with some good Plot Armor. I'm talking about the good guys.
fighting Super Buu in the Room of Spirit and Time could have spared a lot of death and destruction, and not doing so almost led to the Earth's Dragon Balls being deactivated. It would also delay Piccolo destroying the exit, buying more time before Buu could escape from the dimension. But I think this is one of those mistakes that ended up working out since Gotenks needed Super Saiyan 3 to exit, so he'd need to wait to fuse again if the timer ran out, assuming they're not just dead if that happens. And due to time being slower outside the Room of Spirit and Time, they'd be buying the world minutes at most, likely not even close to enough time for Gohan to get to Earth much faster. Speaking of Gohan, he is possibly the most contentious when it comes to his mistakes in the fight against Super Buu. According to the Dragon Ball Super anime, Gohan was drunk on power when he fought Super Buu, but was he actually? He only fought him for
I'll
one
say
chapter.
this. This is why I understand what my friends are talking about when they defending Gohan, and what y'all tell me in the comment section when defending Gohan. But it's situations like this is why I'm on his neck. Because if you want peace, be a scholar and all this other stuff, then finish your situation so you can move on with your life. Don't drag it out. It's like, if you want that life, you would think he would be more ambitious to be like, all right, y'all get out the way. I'm about to end this in about 10 seconds. Because Gohan could have. I don't care what his plan was. Bump that. We'll figure something else out. Let's get rid of him first. Because if you think about it, this transformation, Gohan was the strongest in the whole series. Even Kid Buu. Gohan would have handled Kid Buu, no problem. That's why the plot had to kill him when the Kid Buu threw the bomb. But this is why I'm on Gohan's neck, even in Super, is because when situation comes where you have this had this opportunity, you dragged it out, and then we know what happens. That's what frustrates me. You want the calm life, but then when you have the opportunity to end something to get that calm life, you let your Saiyan, I guess you call ambition or blood, whatever you want to say, kick in, and you do that Vegeta thing where you just drag stuff out. That's why I pull back off Gohan, but I still am on his neck sometimes because of stuff like this.
In the manga before Super Buu blew up, so was it really his fault? I take it as
Wait,
a
what happened? I'm
little
sorry.
his on power when he fought Super Buu, but was he actually? He only fought him for one chapter in the manga before Super Buu blew up, so was it really his fault?
Yes.
I take it as a little his fault, but Buu's escape is an ultimately unavoidable outcome. Gohan
No.
is undeniable.
Gohan could have finished that off. Walking to him, talking trash. All he had, like I said, Piccolo, go to him, back up for a minute. Zoom right to him. Don't even give Buu a chance to blow up. Gohan's speed was better, his strength. He could have taken care of him. He could have. Him dragging it out, talking to him, doing all this trash talk. No, he could have ended it.
Arrogant and overconfident here, choosing to talk about how superior he is instead of finishing the fight. And later, in a scene that parallels the Cell Saga, Goku screams for Gohan to finish off Buu before.
Yeah, I forgot about that. And then that's the second time Gohan's done that. He did that against Cell. If you just ended it and then listen to your father, Goku would be alive. Excuse me. Goku would be alive. All this other nonsense wouldn't happen. That's why I'm on his next times, because someone who wants to chill and be a scholar, you really don't know how to just finish the situation. I know it's not canon, but BoJack Unbound, you could have easily taken out that group. But I know the story and all that had to be all dramatic. But he could have turned Super Saiyan 2. Goku did not have to show up to help. All this other stuff, all the fighters down. All that didn't have to happen. You could have turned Super Saiyan 2 in the situation.
Is
I'm passionate about Dragon Ball, sorry.
As well.
Well, I'm not sorry. I love
Goku
this stuff.
Believes Gohan can kill Buu in an instant, something he should have done when he first walked up to him in their
right there.
Fight.
Finish it.
Also, the fact that Gohan shouldn't have let the kids get involved at all. I get that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But if that is so true. That is so true. That is so true. I forgot about that. The kids transform is like, we want to finish it. They took the bait of Buu. Another reason I'm on Gohan's neck. Sit still. Y'all had y'all time. It's my turn. Let me finish this.
To be as well. Instead, Gohan is way too relaxed because of his newfound power, and that's ultimately why Buu isn't defeated right then and there. The next mistake isn't super bad or anything, but if Elder Kai could have given his life up for Goku so he could go back to Earth and help, he probably should have done it sooner. Goku could have gone back to Earth to help train the kids, and with instant transmission, they'd actually have the ability to escape close calls relatively easily. It just seems like if he cares about the assured future of the universe, which is the reason he agrees to give up his life for Goku in the first place, then he should have done so sooner. Again, it's ultimately not a huge deal, but it does seem like a mistake to me, especially since his death doesn't even really change his current situation. However, it wasn't a mistake for Elder Kai to give Goku the Potara, but who's to blame for Gohan not catching the earring? For some reason I can't explain, people clown on Gohan for this.
I blame
his ass
Goku.
Wasn't just beat within an inch of his life.
Yeah, I blame Goku. What throw was that? What aim is that? Why do I have to go all the way back here? And I know they make that little comment about his glasses and all. That had nothing to do with it. You see how far that thing was? And that was far with Gohan going backwards. Imagine if Gohan stood still going like this. What kind of throw is that? Let me see.
Who's to blame for?
Look at that. Look how far that thing is. And that's with Gohan going back.
Gohan not catching the earring. For some reason I can't explain, people clown on Gohan for this, like his ass wasn't just beat within an inch of his life. Meanwhile, Goku over here was freshly brought back to life and does such a bad throw, Stephen A. Smith would yell about it for 3 years. Which is no surprise since he's definitely never played catch with Gohan a day in his life. But it's even funnier when you remember he can teleport. He could just spawn in right in front of Gohan.
Oh
and even
my
put the
goodness,
on
I didn't even think of that, bro. That is so
Goes
true.
on to realize how dumb this decision was because he puts the earring directly in Vegeta's hand after this. So yeah, this is a Goku mistake, and I don't want to hear it.
That is true. I agree with you.
Now that Goku handed the Potara to Vegeta and they fused, I'm sure you're expecting me to talk about Vegito's many mistakes or arrogance, but I only think he made one mistake. You see, Vegito gets absorbed on purpose. This is a specific plan to save the people that Buu absorbed. Defusing wasn't a part of that plan, and if he didn't want to save everyone, he could have and would have killed Buu. The mistake here is that there are Dragon Balls, and those make it a pretty dumb decision. The people in Buu he's trying to save could just be revived by the Dragon Balls, or at worst, the Namekian
I forgot about that, because at first I was like, no, Vegito did the right, but yeah, that makes sense.
The plan itself is actually fine though, so I don't fault Vegito too much for what he did.
Yeah.
But Vegeta crushing the Potara is without a doubt a mistake. Like,
that's
what was
typical
the plan
Vegeta.
if Buu just wasn't weak enough for them to kill on their own? Happens, by the way. And Gohan or Goten and Trunks aren't able to fight immediately after being freed. Which happens, by the way. Even Goku says this was a mistake, and he loves the idea of fighting on his own. Combine this with Vegeta's next mistake of removing Good Buu from Super Buu, and it gets even worse. Super Buu was definitely less eager to destroy the Earth and far more manipulatable than Kid Buu, which could have bought them time for a lot of things, like Dende healing Goten, Trunks, and Gohan, or even Kibito Kai could have done it if he teleported to Earth again. While Super Saiyan 3 Goku is too weak for Super Buu by his own admission, he probably could hold off Super Buu for a little bit at least.
Really?
So this is a pretty plausible possibility.
Really? Super Buu is better than Super Saiyan 3? Because if Goku actually got his full power against Kid Buu, Goku could have won that, right? Or is a better chance. So is Super Buu stronger than Kid Buu? I'm confused. because Goku and Kid Buu was going at it, and outside of I guess you want to call it Buuhan, when Buu absorbed Gohan, this Buu is stronger than Super Saiyan 3. I never would have thought that. Only one I thought that was stronger than Super Saiyan 3 was obviously Kid Buu, because Goku didn't go his full power. And when he absorbed Gohan, which was what was that called? Buuhan or something like that? Yeah, I don't know.
The threat of removing Good Buu as a way to ensure they escape, or Goku could stall an escape with Super Saiyan 3. Of course, we can't ignore Goku not saving Goten, Trunks, and Gohan before the Earth was destroyed instead of Mr. Satan and Dende, which I understand is technically a mistake, since regardless of anything else, the Namekian Dragon Balls could still restore the Earth, and by extension, Dende and Mr. Satan, especially since it's basically guaranteed that Gotenks and or Gohan could have beaten Kid Buu. That's the reason Toriyama kills them off after all. It adds tension, and honestly, it's not really a mistake. Goku himself didn't have time to teleport, and they needed to be saved by Kibito Kai. It was either save Dende and Mr. Satan, or save no one, since they
at least get
near the others
Gohan.
at that point.
It's like
The
Gohan can
actual
handle Kid Buu, no
mistake is him
problem.
not just deflecting this blast. We've already seen in this arc that Goku can transform into Super Saiyan 3 instantly. Even no one, since they weren't near the others at that point. The actual mistake is him not just deflecting this blast. We've already seen in this arc that Goku
I don't think he could.
Didn't
Goku tell Vegeta we can't stop it?
Do that again. I mean, he literally does do it again in the very next chapter, so it's not a one-off, and even if that blast is stronger than his last, it should still be something that Super Saiyan 3 Goku could handle, since he still thinks he can handle Kid Buu, again, in the very next chapter. If Goku could have deflected the attack or just bought time by pushing it back, Kibito Kai could have saved everyone else before Goku teleports away from Earth. So Earth might still get destroyed, but they'd have a much easier time killing Buu, so it's probably more than worth it. Luckily, Goku and Vegeta can still fuse to beat Buu with the second set of Potara, and nope, Goku gives the earring back and Vegeta destroys the one he's given. Very smart. I'm sure that won't be something Goku considers a mistake in just a few short chapters. Oh right, he does that. But somehow, even with all of that, the arc manages to end happily. All the mistakes of the characters in the Buu saga lead to the ending working. We're all flawed and make mistakes, but if we come together, unite what we're each good at, and use it all in one moment of perfect teamwork, we can overcome anything. So make sure to join my team by hitting subscribe if you haven't yet. Check out the video sponsor, Holzkern, with my link.
All right, shout out to Carthus Dojo. I always love these videos. Definitely go check them out. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. I know I talked for a while, but I love this stuff. So yeah, it is what it is. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'll see you later.